so we're going to kind of run through some of this information. Just know that you can speak to either of us afterwards about it, and everything that we're presenting will be on my website, which is KHALIDcares.com/news. You go to the news and events tab, and you can find a lot of this information. So we have 7 districts. They're wildly different sizes, but each one of them has about 12,500 people. Where's the young lady who voted no? Yes. So you're worried about the property tax and the business mix. So I will let you know that our budget is projected to be around $88 million. The budget of Sandy Springs is $92 million. So of all of the cities in Georgia, there are only 2 cities, I think it's Sandy Springs and Alpharetta, that have larger budgets than we do. They have a different mix of businesses. So obviously they have the Mercedes headquarters in Sandy Springs. They have a lot of businesses there. We have more homes, and we also have more square miles. So the city of South Fulton, as you can see, starts, you can see, you all have the PowerPoint, so I'm on the first page of the PowerPoint here. It starts, this is I-20, it starts north of I-20 at Adamsville. It goes all the way out to the Cobb County line, the Douglas County line, this is the Chattahoochee right here, and it comes all the way down to Fayette and Clayton counties. So we are 107 square miles. Atlanta's 132 square miles. We're only 20 square miles smaller than Atlanta. We're going to be the second largest city in the metro area behind only Atlanta itself in terms of land area. So that's how we make that $88 million. So our mix is a little different, but 88 million is 88 million. We get most of that from what's called local option sales tax. So when you go buy something, our sales tax was 7 cents. So 1 cent out of that 7 goes to our local municipality. And we had to give that back to the county and trust that the county would spend it on us. Obviously they didn't. But now that we have the city, we'll get $25 to $30 million. It'll be about $2 million a month beginning June 30th. You will notice that your sales tax has gone up to it's going up to 0.775, so we've added 3/4 cent on there. That is going to get our roads paved. You begin to see some of that work now with the sidewalks down on National, and they're paving Burdette Road and a couple of other roads as well. So if you go to KHALIDcares.com/news, on the green side there's a green side of the screen. It's sort of our Citizens University, and you can see a list of all of the projects that we'll be doing. I'm going to go on to the next thing. So, and meeting with the transition team, so there are a couple of things that we are required to have in order to be a city. We basically have to have 3 out of the following services in order to be a city. So we're definitely going to bring over fire and police. We're also going to bring over code enforcement, parks and rec. But we have to bring over one of these 4 at the bottom as well. We can't bring over electric and gas. We could, it'd be super, super expensive and take many, many years. We can't bring over water and sewer because we have contracts already with Fulton County and with the city of Atlanta to buy our water. Not to mention it would cost millions and millions and millions of dollars to build a water reservoir. We could possibly bring over libraries. There's also an agreement with Atlanta and Fulton to run libraries. But we realized that what we probably need to bring over is trash service. This young lady here was talking a lot about it wasn't you. Who called code enforcement? Yes. About people not picking up trash. So we know that right now in unincorporated Fulton County, you're not required to have trash service. So some people don't have it. They put the trash behind CVS, or maybe they don't put it behind anywhere. Maybe they just leave it out on the street, right? We have 3 or 4 dump trucks that are coming through the neighborhood, tearing neighborhoods up. We never really know when someone's trash service is. So we're going to be municipalizing the trash service. We have to do one of these, so it's not really an option. But because we do it, if you think about the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare, the way that it's supposed to work is that when everyone has to buy in, the rates are supposed to go down. So now that your neighbors who don't have trash service will also have to have trash service, it will be added to their tax bill. We should be able to get trash service for everyone at the same or lower rates with better service. We're currently putting a contract out looking for private companies to be our municipal trash service. And we hope to have recycling, we hope to have 2-day-a-week pickup, but we're going to be putting some bids out. And the transition team has already started that process. So the transition team process actually began in November as soon as we voted to become a city. So from the time that we were elected on April 18th, if all of you go out and vote for us, to May 1st is about 13 days. And we're going to have about 13 days to meet and go through a lot of this paperwork and make a lot of these decisions. Something else that is really important is the charter for our city. So every city has a charter that is basically the constitution of the city. And our charter is House Bill 514. So every city's charter is actually written by the Georgia legislature. It's an act of the legislature to create a city. It's very important to understand what we are and what we are not. Because there are a lot of rumors going around, right? So we are not leaving Fulton County. We're not seceding from Fulton County. We're not setting up our own state government. We're just a city. There are certain things that we do and there are certain things that we do not do. A lot of you all are going to mayoral debates right now and mayoral forums. So I want to explain the difference between our city and other cities. So most new cities that are set up, really all new cities that have been set up since 2007, have this form of government on the right, which is a city manager council model. When you think of the mayor, I know a lot of people think about the mayor of Atlanta. That is a strong mayor model. So under their charter, the mayor hires and fires department heads. You hear about him hiring the chief of police. He fired the guy out at the airport. So, Kasim Reed is sort of like the big dog in the city of Atlanta. And he submits a budget to city council, and they vote on the budget, but everything's kind of focused around the mayor. The only cities that are set up like that are usually cities with over 300 or 500,000 people. So you think of large cities like Atlanta, New York, Chicago. Most of the cities in this area, East Point, College Park, Fairburn, they have a city manager council model. Some of the older cities in our area, like the city of College Park, kind of has a hybrid. So in the city of College Park, the mayor and council hire all the department heads. But I want to focus on our city model. So when you're talking to candidates, and you're also talking to mayoral candidates, you understand we do not get to pick the chief of police. We do not get to pick the head of parks and rec. We do not get to pick the head of zoning and code enforcement. All of those things are done by the city manager. Actually, the only people that we get to pick are the city manager, the municipal judge, and the city clerk. We also get to pick the city treasurer, which is basically Arthur Ferdinand, our tax commissioner. We're all pretty much in agreement that we're probably going to keep him and keep Fulton County as the person that collects our taxes, right? And we will get our 1 cent of that 7 from Arthur Ferdinand's office. But we will pick the manager, the judge, and the city clerk. That's it. Those are the only people. The mayor gets to appoint those people. He doesn't even get to pick them. He gets to appoint them, and then we as a city council have to approve his picks. So our mayor really doesn't have as much power as you might think conventionally a mayor does have. The city manager makes the budget. They hire and fire the heads of all of the departments. All of those people report to the city manager. Now, the city manager will meet with the mayor every week, and they'll meet with the council whenever we meet. And a city manager, a good city manager, is going to confer. They're not just going to make those decisions without consulting with the council. But they are allowed to. So when we talk about experience, it's really, really important that we hire a city manager that has experience. The mayor and the council can have a little less experience, although we have some really great people on our mayor and council, but it's really important that our city manager has experience. And cities to look to that have this same model, Union City has the same model, Sandy Springs, Johns Creek, and Milton. So a lot of people are actually upset when they found out, oh, you know, a lot of people saying, what are you going to do about crime? What do you want to see in a police chief? I can tell you what I want to see in all of those things, but I actually don't get a vote on who the police chief is. I get a vote on who the city manager is. There are some things that we can do as a city council. Our main job is to write the city ordinances, right? And then we approve the budget, we can make amendments to the budget. But our main job is to write the city ordinances. So we'll have to check in with the city attorney to make sure about, you know, whether the ordinances we are writing don't conflict with our state constitution, right? Because we can't be in conflict with the Constitution, but we can enhance the Constitution. And one of the things that I and other candidates are proposing, for example, with our chief of police, is that our chief of police be a resident of the city. Even if we hire someone from the outside, they need to live in our city. And we also want to make sure that we have incentives for new police hires to live in the city. So the same way that we currently give preference to people that have military service or people that are post-certified in other regions, we want to give that same sort of preference to police officers who have lived here for at least 2 years or more. But very important, so when you're going to the forums, and we have one more mayoral forum on April 15th, which is tax day. Next Saturday, it will be at Pine Tree Park Baptist Church. If you're signed up to this email list, or if you go to KHALID.com, you'll get information about when that is. But make sure that you ask the mayor, what is your vision for the city, and what is your vision for the role of a mayor in this weak mayor government, where you really don't get to make a lot of decisions? How are you going to work with council? How good are you working with people to get things done? The next thing is, a lot of people, we have talked a lot about crime in a lot of forums. Once again, we're not setting up a whole new government, we're just setting up a municipal government or a city government. So what we do as a city council is that we write city ordinances, and our city court only enforces those ordinances. So our city court will handle basically traffic ordinances, shoplifting, vandalism. As you probably have seen in many cities, they're trying to end the school to prison pipeline, or trying to end the prison pipeline. They're going to decriminalize marijuana for less than an ounce, so that you write a ticket for that instead of sending people to jail. And that is another way to get revenue for the city. So those are things that a lot of progressive cities are looking at. But those are the only things that we need to handle. Major crimes, armed robbery, burglary, juvenile court, small claims, probate court, all of those things are still handled in the county and the state court system. So we will still have to work with the county to handle those things, and we can't write our own laws that conflict with Fulton County's laws around crime or around juveniles. So we can't just say, for example, if a juvenile breaks in the home, that we're going to write an ordinance that they automatically get locked up, or there are 3 strikes, you're out, or because Fulton County handles that. They're going to go to Fulton County Juvenile Court, and the laws of the county will handle that. So we'll still have to work with that. One of the recommendations, so right now the transition team is making dozens and dozens of recommendations. When we are sworn in on May 1st, we will actually probably at midnight meet to sign some things into law, so that we are not lawless between midnight and whenever our swearing-in ceremony is in the morning time. And so there are dozens and dozens of recommendations that are being made. One of the recommendations that is being made by the transition team is that we wholesale bring all of the employees from Fulton County over to our city, so that we bring all the Fulton County police over, we'll bring all the Fulton County code enforcement over, we'll bring all zoning over, and put them on a probation period. I, and some other candidates, are not for that. We want to make sure that the people that we're bringing over are quality people, but we also want to have a conversation with them about the points of failure in the systems that we have now, without just wholesale copying and pasting and bringing them over to the city of South Fulton. So, for example, with code enforcement, I've seen this while walking, and I had a gentleman from Hillendale and Laurel Valley drive me around. There are about 15 homes, there are about 12 homes that for the past 10 to 15 years have been burned out or abandoned in the Hillendale subdivision off of Flat Shoals Road. These are three of the homes. These homes have looked like this for more, these two homes on the left and this lot on the right have looked like that for more than 10 years. So a directive came down from Fulton County when we were trying to have these future South Fulton forums. And I would try and get members of code enforcement and members of the police to come to the forums to answer the questions that many of you have. What they were instructed by Todd Long, who is the head of Fulton County's transition team. So the city has a transition team and the county has a transition team. Todd Long directed his transition team and all of the county officials to only speak to the City of South Fulton transition team. We're not allowed to speak to them. They're not allowed to come out and answer questions at these meetings. So please believe that they are going to talk to me and they're going to talk to City Council before we just wholesale bring them over. Because we need to figure out, for example, was it a funding issue? Was there an issue tracking down the landlords? Why are these homes still looking like this? And in the case of this one on the bottom left, it's not even boarded up. So that's a simple solution. And we just need to figure out what are the points of failure in this system before we bring your entire department over. Can we bring the officers over? Because we know sometimes as an employee, you run things up the chain of command and then they get stuck in management. So maybe we need to bring the employees over and maybe not the management. Maybe we can bring them all over, but we just need to make sure that they have the funding that they need. Maybe the county commission wasn't giving them the support that they need, but we need to have those kinds of conversations. And if I'm elected, those conversations will be public. We will have public hearings as we bring them over. We're not bringing everyone over in one day. We actually have about 18 months. So we have until the end of 2018 to bring all